The air was too still. No rustle of leaves, no chirp of birds, not even the whisper of the ocean breeze. The entire island seemed to hold its breath. On the rocky cliff above the sea, an old man raised his hand, not to shield his eyes from the sun, but to feel the weight of the air. His granddaughter watched him, puzzled. "It's here," he murmured. No weather app, no radio warning, yet he knew, before a single cloud appeared, that a cyclone was moving toward their island. This is the forgotten skill of storm reading. Life on the island of Nakarai followed the same rhythm for generations. Mornings began with fishing trips and laughter. The people lived between the forest and the ocean, dependent on both. But their safety depended on the sharp eyes and ears of their elders, keepers of ancient knowledge that could mean the difference between survival and disaster. That morning, everything seemed normal, to everyone except the chief weather watcher, old Kanoa. The sea was calm to most eyes, but Kanoa noticed the waves weren't right. Normally, the tide's rhythm was steady and predictable, but today the swells rose unevenly, as though pushed from far beyond the horizon. He knew this was the ocean's way of whispering about a distant storm. To a fisherman, ignoring such a change was as dangerous as sailing blind. By midday, the air grew heavier and something else changed: birds. The sky was suddenly filled with flapping wings as parrots, gulls, and terns abandoned the shoreline, heading deep into the forest. Kanoa's granddaughter, Lani, asked why. He told her that birds can sense pressure drops in the atmosphere. Long before humans feel the storm, they flee to safety. Later, Kanoa led Lani into the forest. Normally, the jungle was alive with noise, chirps, clicks, buzzes. But today, it was silent. To the trained ear, silence is not peace, it is warning. Insects and frogs, like birds, can feel the approaching storm in their bodies. The elders called this moment the breath before the strike. Kanoa scooped up a handful of earth and smelled it. That faint metallic, earthy scent told him moisture was already being pulled toward them. Science calls it petrichor, the smell of rain before it falls. For Kanoa, it was confirmation that the storm was close. In the village, dogs barked nervously. Goats gathered close, refusing to eat. Even crabs scurried away from the shore. These were not coincidences. Animals can detect low-frequency vibrations and pressure changes humans cannot. Kanoa told Lani, "When the animals speak, you listen." Once the signs were certain, the alarm spread through the village. Men pulled boats onto higher ground. Women secured roofs with heavy rope and stored water in clay jars. Children were kept indoors. There was no panic, just speed. Every movement was the result of centuries-old drills taught by one generation to the next. By nightfall, the wind arrived first, screaming through the palm trees, bending them almost to the ground. Rain followed, hammering the huts. The sea turned violent, waves smashing against the cliffs. Inside, the villagers stayed dry and safe. They had moved food and animals to higher ground hours before. By dawn, the cyclone had passed. The village stood battered but intact. No lives were lost. Lani looked at her grandfather and finally understood. Storm reading wasn't magic. It was listening to a language most had forgotten. We live in a world of satellites and weather apps, but storms still catch people unprepared. Science now confirms what elders like Kanoa knew. Animal behavior, ocean patterns, and even the smell of the air are real indicators of coming weather. And sometimes, in places without internet or power, these signs are still the fastest warning system we have. Nature always warns us. In the rustle of leaves, in the flight of birds, in the silence before the rain. The only question is, are we still listening,